This is WPSL Port St. Lucie.
Views expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of WPSL, but we're the ones that have encouraged you all along to like and share them on social media and with all your friends and neighbors, because it's time to learn to start caring. It's called Careolgy, the science of caring. The science of caring, hosted by the one, the only, Roxy Brown.
Thank you, Cliff.
Been a little
live
cold.
radio. That's not good. Good evening, everyone. How are you doing? This is Roxy, and I'm welcoming those listening live, those on our social media stream. It is so good to be back here with you, and I hope everyone is doing good. If you are the listening sound of my voice and here locally with us in the Treasure Coast on the state of Florida, be careful because it is wet and slippery. I mean, I woke up this morning and I was like, ooh, it's chilly. Not cold, but chilly. 60-something degrees, and we're going to go down lower. So we need everyone to be careful, watch the road. People are trying to rush to get those little gifts, looking at their phone, not paying attention. The last thing you need is to have a car mashed up, mashed up during this season. You want everyone to be safe, and let's just look out for one another. I keep always preaching that. If you're tuning in with us for the first time, welcome. My name is Roxy Brown, and I am the CEO and founder of CareBag Incorporated. And what we do here on the Treasure Coast is we look after homeless, the families that are in need of essential items by providing access to proper hygiene. And we do that well. We've been around for 5 years. Next month, January 17th, will be our 6th anniversary. So we are really, really excited about it. And just like Cliff said, if you want to find out more about us, go to givecarebag.com. And it will take you right to our website. We have a lot going on. It's beautiful, and we just want to share our information with you.
People can find out how to help, how they can help.
They can. It's the end of year, and if you got a couple $100,000 sitting around that you are like, oh my goodness, I forgot to spend this and I need to get rid of it, CareBag's your girl. CareBag's your guy.
All donations are tax deductible.
And it is tax deductible, and you will get that before December 31st hits. Wow. It will go right into your email or in the mail.
If you need something for the end of the year, this is the one.
This is
right
the
here.
one.
Yep.
Thank you, Cliff. But, we just want to wish everyone, we have our last show next week. I'm really, really excited.
The last show of the year, right?
The last show of the year is next week. Okay. And I have a young lady, 11, and she will host the show with me. I will be her co-host. So I am really 11 years old. Wait until you hear her story. Wow. Beautiful young lady, absolutely amazing. But before, I don't want to forget with anyone, I want to wish everyone a happy holiday, Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah, just all the festivities for you and your family. And we want to go and make sure all of you are safe and all of you are doing good. So I'm just going to dive right in. A couple months ago, we lost a friend to suicide. And it was difficult. And all of that started coming back up by this young man, Twitch boss, that worked with Ellen. I followed him. I don't follow celebrities, but I liked him because there was never any drama attached to him. There was nothing derogatory. There was nothing bad. Beautiful wife, beautiful children, worked his way up, dancing, school, just a really roundabout good guy. And he did from what the news is telling us and from what his wife posted on, they had videos, they did a dance choreography that morning. Then they had breakfast, kissed the kids, everything is doing good. And then he took an Uber to a hotel. And he ended his life with a pistol, but he left a note. And from what we're understanding, he was so depressed, fighting so many demons within him. I actually felt sad, and you guys always hear me talking about, it's selfish what you do to a family, but I'm going to switch the script now. How tormented, how many demons do you have to have that you think your only way out is to end it? That, when you think about that, that is really, really sad.
There's a lot of it going on.
There's a lot of it going on. But you know what? The higher you go, the more secluded you get. Because who can you talk to? Who can you trust without all your information being all over the social media or in the newspaper or on the news or on CNN, Fox? You tell one person, I hit my toe. Next thing you hear, I sucked my toe. You see what I'm saying? Information gets so distorted. So the fact that you thought you left a young mother with 3 kids, you thought you were so tormented that this was the only way for you to deal with this. I was like, how sad is that? That is sad.
He probably had no idea of the torment he left them with.
You know what? I think it was because what we're doing, we're grabbing things out of thin air, because there's 1 or 2 or 3 people listening to us that are struggling. They say that with every one person that kills them, that commits suicide and gets through with it, there are 20 more who couldn't complete it. That means they missed the mark. They couldn't do it successfully, according to them.
And almost can be just as bad.
Just as bad, yes. So just imagine you are so tormented. Because remember, you're thinking about your inner self, your inner demons. And I was with someone this week, and we were just talking about depression, because the topic came up, and it has really bothered me. I don't think I've seen anything bother me so much like this, because I realize every time I walk past someone, the happiest person you see is probably the most miserable.
Yep, most likely. Look at Robin Williams.
Yeah, oh my goodness.
He was a funny guy, made you laugh.
In his sleep, he was, it laughed. And that's the thing with him. They said he hugged people, he encouraged people, he was always smiling, dancing, just doing everything that he can. And sometimes, some people ask me, they look at me, man, Roxy, what's wrong? I'm like, what you mean? Well, your face look angry. You know what? Let my face look angry sometimes. At least I'm dealing with my emotions.
Yeah.
When someone's angry, when someone's going through when someone looks like they're tore up from the floor up, they look like 100 pounds soaking wet, let them be. Because guess what? They're working it out, and they're dealing with it. And that's what the rest of us need to do. We don't need to go ahead and throw shade on anyone because they're having a bad day. Sometimes I see people in their car and they're just talking to each other, but in their car alone, and it looks like there are 3-4 people in the car with them. You know what? It's okay. That's going to be our new word for today. We're going to say that until 7 o'clock. It's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay. It's okay to get angry. It's okay to talk to yourself. It's okay to throw something, because you're learning how to deal with your emotional anger. You're really learning how to deal with it. And as we come to the end of the year, as we come to one of the most festive seasons in our country, we have New Year. We just finished Thanksgiving. So everybody that's feeling anyways, feeling within themselves now. Now you have Christmas coming up. So if you don't have any friends, you don't have any family, you don't have anyone in your life, and you see everybody exchanging and giving cards and giving hugs, come for dinner, blah, blah, blah. Now you're feeling yourself. Then now the New Year comes. Yeah. Now you're starting the New Year and you're alone. You don't have a cat, you don't have a dog.
Get a cat or a dog or something. Get something, or at least a friend to talk to.
So I'm going to let you know, do not get an animal if it's a Christmas gift, because getting an animal is a lifelong commitment. They are family. They are a lifelong commitment. They are not just for the next 30 days until the new year and the novelty has worn off. My boy is 10, and I've had him for 10 years. Oh, yeah. He's my family.
I had a little Chihuahua. She lasted 15 years before she went blind. But you want to talk about a faithful animal. She thought she was a wolf. She would protect me like she was a wolf. They are wolves in Chihuahua's clothing. Yeah, they're vicious little something. But we're gonna get back, and we just it bothered me. I think it really bothered me. And Cliff, I don't know how many times we're gonna talk about this subject. Well, somebody's gonna hear that they're not alone in this. They need to talk Because
to
if they start
someone.
talking, they'll find somebody
They're
who's
gonna
been through
find
the same
and
thing.
but you know what? I keep saying I think the best person you can talk to is a professional. Why? They are licensed and under the Hippocratic oath that they got to keep their mouth shut. You can't trust family. You can't trust friends. You can't trust a lot of people. But you should be able to trust your therapist.
Yeah. Sure.
That is
just
what,
like your doctor.
Yeah, that is what they're getting paid for. Do not go out there and think you can handle this alone, people. You know, it's just not right. We want people to know that there is someone to talk to.
We talked about this last week with your pastor.
We did talk about it.
Didn't he say that there's a new number?
There's a 988.
988.
It's 988, and it is nationwide. So, and it is just for suicide prevention. That's all it's for. It is just for suicide prevention. So we want people to pay attention. We want people. You don't want to call the 211. You can text it. You don't want to text. We told you can go to New Horizons. There's so many outlets out there that you can talk to. Start looking in the mirror and talking to yourself. That's somebody. It's just your reflection. But the thing is, do something. Handle it. I think we need to have an emotion. We can't be happy all the time. I always say a happy person is a crazy person. I used to tell my husband that. He used to look at me. No, people could be happy. I'm like, no. You're going to get angry. You're going to get upset. That is the natural order of things. That's the natural.
I don't stay upset.
You don't have to stay upset, but it's an emotion.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You need to have an emotion. An emotion is natural. That's all it is. An emotion is natural, and that's what we want people to understand. It is okay to cry. It's okay to scream. It's okay to throw something, not at somebody, but just throw it into the woods or into the lawn.
What was that slogan we came up with just a while ago?
It's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Let's add some hope to it.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
Everything is going to be okay.
Yeah, it is okay.
But
and
you do have to talk, communicate.
You have to communicate. You have to talk. You have to vent. It's called venting. You have to vent. I have some good sisters. I call them my sister circle. And there are certain ones that I vent to about certain things. And sometimes I look and when I'm done, I'm like, thank you for making me vent. You have to, because you keep that thing bottled up inside. It's just like going ahead and putting baking soda and vinegar, tying it up and shaking it up. Trust me. Don't try this, people. The top is going to blow up.
Oh,
Trust
Mentos
me.
And Coca-Cola.
Don't do it. Please just take Roxy's word for it. I've done the experiment for you. Don't do it. Doesn't matter how tight you tight that cork on, it's going to pop.
Oh, yeah.
Look, I'm just going to put it out there. So all of you must know now.
You don't want to be holding it.
You don't want to be holding it. But just like that, that pressure is going to build up. And if you have no way to release that pressure, two things happen. You do something really stupid and hurt the ones you love, or you do the next stupid thing. And that's go ahead and inflict something on you that is irreversible. And that is not good. That you are I keep saying it. Everyone is so precious. Everyone is so precious. And, when I talk to people, and they're like, well, you can't talk to everybody. You know what? You're flipping right. You can't talk to everybody. So you got to choose. And if out of your whole circle, you have no one to talk to.
Sometimes you don't have to say anything. Sometimes a smile can change someone's life.
Get a journal.
Yeah.
Trust me, releasing, it's about releasing it. So if you release it in a scream, if you release it in a telephone call, if you release it in a text, if you release it in a journal, and then you'll say, oh, I don't want nobody to find it or know my business. Write in code. Write a story, but make the story about somebody else, but the story is really about you. Writing code that everyone knows, that you know. Anyone found it, they would say, what the hell is this in this book? It's garbage. But the thing is, you know what it is. And I think that is the most important thing. If you know what it is, then you can go ahead and you can release it. It's about release. I thought about that from yesterday. And I was like, you have to release, Sometimes if something, everybody goes through something. So I always talk about I'm going to be honest and put myself first. Sometimes I go through something. And sometimes I just find myself screaming at the top of my lungs. And when I do that, I'm like, okay, I feel like stupidity and I feel like a maniac. But you know what, Cliff? It feels good.
Yeah.
I screamed and I let it out,
I
and
don't
it
know how
feels
our,
good.
our energies can get so unbalanced.
Yes, you have to. Sometimes finding a hobby is not going to be good. But, it bothered me, and I say it again. I just felt really sad for this young man.
yeah.
How deep, and that's for anyone. Let me rephrase that sentence. Let me rephrase it. I just feel bad for any young man, any young woman, any person that feels that they feel that this is the only alternative that they have. This cannot be the only alternative that you have.
It's not, and I would
It's
hope
not.
that somebody would call that number, because there's somebody on the other side of that phone that can talk with you.
And they might have experienced it too, so
Yeah.
that's why they're there to help you. They're not just there to listen to you and cast doubt and shade over anything you're doing.
I think deep
Yeah.
inside they want somebody to please talk me out of this.
Yeah,
That's what they need. Call that number if you need to.
you need to, because
or go to New Horizons or talk to somebody.
yeah.
And now if you're young, a school teacher can help, a guidance counselor, a mom, a dad.
Help is available. You have to understand, help is available. Speak with someone today. Don't say, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. If you know that you are at your breaking point, to the point where you're trying to figure out how it's going to get done, you've already passed the mark. You've already passed that. The fact that you're thinking, that means you've already passed it. It is now something that is going to happen. So guess what? You need to speak to someone. Help, again, is available. You can easily pick up the phone on so many different avenues and just talk to someone. That is your life one. 988, it is your lifeline.
988.
988 is your lifeline. And you have to remember, July 16, 2022 is when calls and texts were now available to this line. And it's confidential, but it supports you when you are at that crisis point, or you are under mental distress, or you just feel like, okay, I am at the last I'm at the last point. At that last stick is about to just break. You're tethering on that end. You're just about to break. We don't want you to be alone. And I think that's it. I was talking to someone, and they said they had a friend living in Ohio, and they said the whole family suffers from mental illness. And during the years, 3 to 4 family members for generations have committed suicide. And she said that's not going to happen to her dad. Her dad is never left alone. Never left alone. If he wants a shave, he goes to the barber. That's the rule. You know, you can be, the thing is, it's sad that they have to do that, because what it does, Cliff, it doesn't cure the situation. It doesn't help the situation. You see what I'm saying? But they love him that much, they're going to do whatever it takes. You know, whatever it takes.
Well, you got to pay attention to what's going on around you. And if there are elderly folks in your family, you got to keep an eye on them.
You got to keep an eye on them, because the elderly, they're going through that now.
Yeah,
they're going through that now more than anything else.
They're starting to realize a lot of things that...
Family's not around. They're not calling them. They've left them. They're working so hard. They can't see the grandchildren. I can go on and on and on. Suicide among the elderly under 60 is high. It's its highest it's ever been. But we're going to talk about some numbers. You know what, Cliff? I can't believe half the time has gone away. We're going to go ahead. We're going to take a commercial break. And we want to hear from the sponsors that make this possible, that we can vent, we can talk, we can help you. If you know someone that you think is suffering, if you know someone that, someone is out here trying to help you, only thing you got to do is tell them to tune in to WPSL. Go on Alexa, go on Google, go on TuneIn, and you just say, listen, I want Careolgy WPSL, and tune in, and they're going to go ahead and have them listen to the show. We will be right back after these messages from our sponsors. Thinking of building your next home or renovating? Come see us at Groza Builders. We will create a home suited for your lifestyle. With years of experience means we give you a complete professional service, from a dream to a concept. You will get the best results, best value, best quality is what you get from Groza Builders. Visit us at grozerbuilders.com. You deserve better. You deserve Grozer. Create custom business signage that customers can't miss or resist. Let Design a Sign in Port St. Lucie help you get the job done right. Over 80 years combined experience. Get it right the first time. Call 772-337-4027 and tell them Roxy said to call. Remember, call 772-337-4020. Design a Sign in Port St. Lucie. If you could reimagine the way you buy a car, what would you do? Make it simple, make negotiations disappear, demand transparency, then experience amazing at your Treasure Coast Lexus dealer. Car Buying Simplified. Treasure Coast Lexus is a proud sponsor of Careolgy. Every Tuesday at 6:05 p.m., caring and supporting for our community. Car Buying Simplified. Check out your Treasure Coast Lexus dealer.
This is WPSL Port St. Lucie, the talk of the Treasure Coast.
We now welcome you back to Careolgy, the science of caring. And the topic tonight is suicide and the 988 hotline, confidential suicide hotline. Once again, here's your host, Roxy Brown.
Thank you. To our social media, we want to say thank you, Jed. He put on something that I just really love. Suicide is a permanent solution to a temporary problem. And actually, I'm going to just expound on that a little more. Not only is it a temporary problem, you have made it astronomical for the people you leave behind. Because it doesn't matter how many notes you leave behind, it's not going to answer the question why. And
it's hard to not magnify the problems because they're there and they just only appear to be bigger.
Yeah.
The magnification is all we've imagined the magnification of the problems. Yeah. But you can't dwell on them. You can't keep dwelling on them. You got to find a reason to smile. And if you can't, look around and you'll find somebody who's acting funny and you'll get a giggle here and there. But when you really talk to somebody about what's going on, that's when you're really going to start feeling better.
Yeah. It's just sad. It's sometimes you just have to take a step back and
I think it's okay to talk to yourself in the mirror as long as you call it therapy.
Yeah.
Because it would be therapy. You're talking to somebody, at least if you're talking to yourself, you're reminding yourself of things that you need to be reminded of.
Yeah.
That's why we need our memories. We need our memories intact so that we can, we can refer to something in our mind, something wonderful that once happened. To think of wonderful
that's
things.
True. All of us, I think all of us, what we need to let people know, all of us reach a breaking point. Yeah. But this is the problem. Because all of us reach a breaking point, we all have to figure out how do we handle it when we get to the breaking point. That's the problem. A lot of us get to the breaking point, but we don't know how to handle the situation. Some things happen in my life, and some people are like, oh, my God. And I'm like, you know what? The hell with it. I'm going to have to deal with it another day. Or I said, okay, I'm going to run straight in and I'm going to fix it. I'm going to solve it. But then you have some people, oh, my God.
Oh, yeah.
They're not going to deal with it. They're not going to talk about it. They're not going to find any hope for it. So it has made and the problem is still there. And it just keeps growing and growing and growing and growing. But we sit back. What could it be? I sat in my house yesterday. I'm like, what can get so bad? I sat there thinking, I was like, my God, I have been through accidents. I've been through death. I've been through burying individuals. I've been through sickness. I don't think anything in my life has brought me to the point that I just say I want to give it up.
I wonder if they know that they're really going to be gone away from their loved ones.
You know what? That's what I was thinking of. But so we're gonna put this again. We're just trying to get into the mind, and I know we cannot get into the mind of an individual. We can't do it. But the thing is, these are the questions that you leave for your family. These are the questions that they're going to have. So, and the question I still have: what could be so bad? You know what? During my conversation with someone I was talking to, like I said, we came to the conclusion that they just want to get out of their pain for themselves so much, they're not even thinking about anybody else. Yeah. They're in so much turmoil. They just want that turmoil to stop, to stop. And, I've talking to someone that has tried, and she said, you know what? It was like voices in my head. The voices in my head can't stop. And I'm like, did you yell back at them? And she laughed. And she said, oh, my God, I wish you were there. I said, yeah, because that's what I would tell you. Tell them to stop. Tell them find somewhere else to go. So, she said she had voices in her head.
A lot of folks say that, and quite often they're referring to the thoughts.
The thoughts. Their thoughts are so vivid, it's like they can hear them.
If you can actually hear physical voices, you really need to talk to somebody about
that.
Yeah. Because thoughts inside your head are not voices. They're thoughts that pop in, and it's the thoughts that'll keep you in trouble because it'll cause you to focus on the problem.
Thoughts keep you up at night.
Yeah.
Thoughts. Yeah. If I'm dwelling on something, and whether it's about business, whether it's about a nonprofit, care bag, it doesn't matter. But if I'm really dwelling on something, I can't sleep. No. I'm up 2, 3 o'clock in the morning getting on my computer. I use that time to just get work done. I'm not going to sit there and dwell on my thoughts.
That's a good thing, too, to do, because if you can't, I used to always say, if you can't sleep, don't.
Do something constructive.
Do something. Yeah,
do something constructive.
And eventually what's happened is I can lay down.
You hear what the topic we're on? So we got to say, not do something constructive good.
That's right.
Do something constructive good. You'll be surprised what you can get. But you're right, Cliff. Thoughts do not materialize into voices. No. So that means that something is bothering you so much that you have let it come and take over whatever you're trying to do, and that's not good. That's not good. So we want to let people just understand that. So, but like we said, it's the holiday season. Family is together.
That's when it hurts
and
the most.
And that's when it hurts.
Folks, yeah.
I think that's when it could hurt the most. Like my dad's been gone 10 years, and my dad died the day before Father's Day. So Father's Day is like, oh, my goodness. But then again, I have a husband. We have a son. We got to celebrate their fathers. So we need to celebrate them. I have good male friends that are fathers. I need to celebrate them. That's how you now take your sadness. You think about it, but you don't dwell on it too much. I think you dwell on something to the point where the thoughts become voices. The thoughts now become voices because you've played it over in your head so much. That's all you're thinking about. So there's no room for anything to materialize. And you're right. Holiday, if you like being alone, then that's perfect. I love solitude.
If being alone bothers you, you try not to be alone.
Yeah, like I love solitude. I'm around people so much.
Right.
Like somebody said, Rox, what you doing? I said, you know what? I really just want to wake up when I want to and just don't worry about anything. Oh my God. I'm like, I love solitude because I don't have it.
Yeah.
You see, when you don't have it too much and you finally get it, you enjoy it.
Yeah.
But now,
like being able to sleep.
Right. But what about if it was the other way around? What about if I didn't have anyone? No one, my phone never rang. No one ever checked me, or I have no family.
And if you perceive that nobody cares,
right? Just because no one calls you. Yeah. So to all my friends listening, I don't call my phone rings so much. My husband swears I love my phone, but I don't. My phone rings so much. I don't like talking on my phone. So therefore, when I have to call someone, I'd rather text them. Because I'm talking all day. Hence, on Tuesday, I talk for 1 straight hour on Tuesday because it's Careolgy. But I'm really bad at that. But the point is, when I send a text or when I pick up the phone, I love you. And I'm here for you. I just don't like the phone. But you can text me, I'll always answer. That's me. You text me, I will always answer. I particularly don't care to talk a lot, because I'm on my phone all the time. But if your phone isn't ringing, why don't you pick up your phone? And you say, hey, you know what? I was thinking about you. How you doing? And when they ask that question, how are you doing? You know what? I'm not that great. That's the problem. That's the problem right there.
They don't want to give you a bad report.
Someone always asks you, how you doing? And everybody, how you doing? How are you?
Automatic answer,
how is
fine.
Your day? I'm fine. Everything's great. Somebody asked me last week, Roxy, how you doing? I'm like, man, I'm hanging on by a thread.
How many men have asked their wives, what's the matter? And she said,
Nothing.
"Oh, nothing."
No, you asked me that. I'm telling you. But if somebody asks me, Roxy, how you doing? You know what? I'm having a really crappy day, but you know what? I'm hanging on by a thread. Anything I can do to help? Maybe yes, maybe no. Or you know what? I got this under control, but thank you for asking. If you ask me and I'm not in a good mood, I'm not in a good place, I'm going to let you know. Straight up. I might not want to talk about it, but you see, when you verbalize something, when you say it out, you kind of release. That's what we're talking about. You're kind of releasing, and we want you guys to do what? Let it go.
Yep.
We need you to let it go. We need you to find someone that you can lean on. You can find someone that you can do something on. You need to just let it go.
It's really okay.
It's like my grandbaby comes to me and she'll look at me. You good, Gigi? You good? I'm good. That's her way of saying, how are you doing? I'm good. When I'm not, if I'm not good, I'm like, no, I'm not good. And she'll come and she'll just, okay, I'm going to hug you. And guess what? That to me is, you can't bottle that up in a pharmacy. That's the best hug I could ever get.
Medicine.
The best hug and the best squeeze. That's the best medicine for Gigi. And I love that. And maybe you can go to the Humane Society and volunteer with the animals.
There you go. You don't have to adopt a dog.
You don't have to adopt a dog.
To be friends with 100
No,
of
you
them.
don't. There's so many things you can do. You can go for a walk in the park. You see an old person sitting down, or go in the coffee house. Take $1, buy someone some coffee. You'd be surprised how a conversation would roll. You go one of these mom and pops little diners. You just sit down. Someone's going to come to you. Find someone there alone. There's so many things and you can talk and you can tell them your deepest, darkest secrets. You can tell them your name is Peter Pan. They never have to know who you are. You verbalize it. You'll never see this person again. But guess what? You got it off your chest. You see what I'm saying? That is the best way. To me, that's one of the best ways to do it. We need to release it. So if everyone's hearing, yes, Marty Ann is in the radio station with us today. So we are happy to have her. She's in her corner and fighting all this cold weather just like the rest of us. Right,
I
Mama?
like what she's wearing on her head, that little hat.
Oh, she's wearing a giraffe hat. And when she
hat.
squeezes the bottom, the ears flip.
Yeah,
and they don't make them for adults.
Ah.
Yeah. They don't make them for adults.
I don't know. I couldn't get my great big ugly head up in that thing.
Yeah. Miss Pansy Payton said honesty from the heart is the best relief. And you are absolutely right. You know, and we have to put that out to people. If you belong to a church, if you belong to a synagogue, if you belong to a yoga club, or you pass a diner, you go for your nail techs and hairstylists. Those are the best people to talk to because they hear it all. Once you tell them, they're going to forget it until the next person comes and sits in the seat. But what we're trying to get out, people, is to release.
This is not recommended, but bartenders can be pretty good psychologists too.
They sure can. It all depends on what they're pouring in your glass.
That's right. Yeah. and if you sit there and don't pour anything in your glass, then they're going to make you leave. So they don't really
but
caring as much as they should.
But you're going to understand what we're trying to say. There's so many avenues. I hate when someone says, oh, I got nobody to talk to. That's a lie. There's so many If you want to talk to somebody, you'll find someone. Because it's so easy to go into, you can be sitting restaurant somewhere. Somebody's always going to come at you. Can I join you? How you doing? The minute someone looks at me and say, how you doing? If I need to talk, we're in a rapid conversation. When I'm leaving, we're hugging. Because now we are the best of friends. Will I ever see them again? I probably will never see them again. You never know, but most likely I'll never see them again. But I released. You got to learn how to release. When you don't release and it bottles up, when it gets time to pop, it pops.
You don't stop putting air in that balloon.
No.
It'll
And that is what we're trying to do. If we can, by the sound of our voices, Cliff, if we can get one person to take a deep breath and release and know that it's okay.
Sometimes that's all you need to do is
just
breathe.
Release. Yeah, just
Breath
breathe.
work.
Yeah, that's it.
We
just
do
take a
that
deep
on,
breath.
some shows.
Count to 4 and just take a deep breath. You know.
Real slow in and hold for a few seconds.
Yeah.
And let it out
breathe
real
in,
slowly
breathe out. That's our song, right?
And the longer you do that, you can find yourself dreaming while you're awake.
Whatever. But you know what? If you're awake, that's a good thing.
Oh, yeah.
We want to keep you awake. We want to keep you with your family. I keep saying over the whole year that everyone's life is so precious, and everyone was meant to be on earth for a reason. Maybe you might be 50, 60, and you don't know your reason yet. It's going to come. You know, remember you're 20, 30, your life has just begun. If you know your reason and you know how you want to make your course of your path for the rest of your life, then you are one of the lucky ones. Because some of us don't figure it out until we're 30, 40 years old.
Or even older.
Yeah. So if you have a grasp on what you want to do, where you want to come, the path you want for your life, kudos to you. But for the rest of us here, the rest of us people that are just going through and just trying to fake it to make it, but we're making it. We're finding something to do with our lives and making it and putting that step forward. You know, join a group. You know, that's all we want to tell people. If it's one person, it doesn't have to be 2 or 3, Cliff. If it's one person tonight that makes a choice to find someone to talk to release, to take a deep breath, to find another avenue than thinking suicide is your only way out, then this show was worth it. This show was worth doing, to cancel my guests, to talk about something that was just plaguing me and on my chest that I felt I needed to do, because I said maybe somebody out there is going to do it. Because every time a celebrity or someone famous and they start talking about it, the person that's thinking about it, oh, see, he got problems and he had everything, so it's all right if I do it. Guess what? No. It's not okay. It's not okay if you do that, you know? Everyone is precious and everyone handles. What you have to remember, money doesn't make your problems go away.
No.
Money actually gives you more problems. It gives you more and more problems. So
I know
you
people
might
have more
be
problems over money than anything else. Yeah.
and you might be in a better position, but it's just that you may have somebody you can talk to and they don't care. He probably had a trust issue. Maybe. We're doing the maybe again. Maybe he was battling and just had a trust issue and didn't feel that would mess up his persona, mess up his cred, mess up what everybody thought about you. Who cares what anyone thinks? I don't care what anyone thinks about me if my mind is right and set and I'm happy.
And don't worry about what people say about you, because I've always said that it doesn't matter if they're talking good about you or bad about you. As long as they're talking about you, you've got their attention.
That's it. And that's what we want. We want that. We want to get it out there. We want to make people understand you are not alone. There's so many avenues. Sometimes when I'm feeling like I'm about to pop, I go sit on my back patio. I pour myself a glass of wine, you know, or you go and take a walk with the dog, or you go take a nice bath, go take a shower. There are many avenues instead of you letting the devil or letting a demon come into your head and start making you think about something to take your own life, not knowing that you are so precious. You were put on this earth for a reason, and we want people to know that. You know, that is what we want. Everyone's talking about this now, but Careolgy, we've been talking about this from day one for 2 years now. We've been talking. Our first show was with New Horizons, and we're talking about in the middle of the pandemic, just the stability and the distress so many people are going through loneliness. Some of us couldn't handle sitting at home and working from home. And some of you do it every single day. So I take my hat off to you. Every day you wake up and it's a new day, kudos to you. I'm loving you for that.
I love to go home when it's time to go home, and I love to go to work when it's time to go to work.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, what am I going to do?
There's no
but
balance.
sit around?
There is no balance. You need balance in your life.
So I leave work at work, and I leave home at home, and when I make the transition from one place to another, it's a happy one every time.
Yeah, and that's what it should be. Yeah. That's what it should be, and that's what we want to put out to you out there. It's just, it's just something that has just weighed heavy. And our country, we talked about it last week. We talked about it many weeks before. Our country has been going for this for so long, Thank you, Stephanie. It's also time for us to become more kind to ourselves. You are to ourselves and to each other. Stephanie, you are so right.
How can you be friendly with a friend if you can't be friendly with yourself?
If you don't love yourself, you can't smile, you can't hug, you can't text, you can't call me, because you can't find time for me. And you know what, Cliff? I think we just hit on it. All these people are finding time for everyone else. but they're not finding time for themselves.
That might be the secret you need to know right now.
That might be it, because everyone that you look at, they're always happy, go lucky, out there doing everything for everybody. But what are they doing for themselves?
Well, you look at social media. Everybody looks so beautiful. They're having such a
the
wonderful
makeup.
life. None of that's real.
None of it. I say that all the time. It's called entertainment.
A facade. It's what they want.
If you
everybody to
believe that, that means that I expect to see Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck walking through here and driving me home. It's called entertainment. It's not real. And I think some people don't know how to separate that. Some people live on their phones so much they don't know how to separate what they see on this social media. They try to live like everybody else. They try to do everything everyone else does. And they don't know how to separate that, what you're seeing on the screen. Look how many of these people, I think I talked about it. It was this year. The beginning of this year, a young lady, makeup, pristine, beautiful as ever, did a post, had some clothes on, and within 2 hours she committed suicide. Had millions of followers. She was an influencer. They're doing it every day. Why? They're sitting in that room alone, and it is a facade. Only thing you got to do is Google it. How many influencers on social media take their own lives?
I wonder how much of this could actually be blamed on the way social media makes us all act and feel.
Oh, social media doesn't make me act or feel anyway. I control my social media.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the problem. Many people don't know how to control it. They make it control them.
Right. You got to control your social media. Don't let it control you. And they say that about a lot of things.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah. It's about a lot of things. But social media, it's instant. Mm-hmm. People are and half of the things people are putting up are not true. The houses they're in, not their own. The cars they're driving, not their own. The house they're living in, not their own. The clothes, the makeup, the jewelry, not their own. Actually, the face you see when they take the makeup off,
not theirs either.
It's not theirs either. That God forgive me. How they look is a hot behind mess. Makeup is a facade. Their whole life is a facade. And I think when we as people start to realize that, separate it, teach our children, teach what's going on in this country, and learn that social media is entertainment. It's like watching a cartoon. You know it's not real, but it is entertaining.
We found a cartoon and share it with our friend.
You watch it to the end because it is entertaining you. And when it's done, you don't sit, oh my goodness, I want to be like Bugs Bunny. No, we don't do that. I might want to get a tattoo, or I might want to get a shirt. You like him, but you don't want to be him because you know it's not real. But because we see social media and we see people that mirror and their image looks like us, then we believe it's real. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're believing that is real, and that is not real. That's that little trick you have.
You want to believe it.
You want to believe it, and you can't see through it. It's where some people are so gullible to see some of the things that are happening. They don't know how to go ahead and separate fact from fiction. So again, social media is entertainment. It is for giving out information. It's not real. People use it for their friends and their family. And this is what people don't understand, Cliff. Every time you go on these influencer sites, the more you sit on there is the more you're making them rich.
Yeah, they get paid for clicks.
They get paid for clicks. They get paid. I am not clicking. I'm not making nobody rich.
Nope.
No. So if you're an influencer and you expect Miss Roxy to click on you, you are in a sad shape. I'm going to look, but I'm not going to click. Do you know I do not click? I do not click.
Well, there's a lot of tricks out there going on, too.
Yeah.
Something will get your attention, and unbelievable what they call clickbait.
Yeah.
And when you click it and open it, it releases viruses and things into your computer that track everything that you buy, everything you say, everything that you do online.
Everything.
It's all saved up in somebody's data bank somewhere for retrieval or selling. They sell that.
That's right.
That's how they get your phone number for the telemarketers and the robocallers. They don't just generate random phone numbers. They go out looking for real phone numbers on real databases.
Yes.
And, that's not nice.
So, but we want to, I just looked up at the time.
Wow.
We want to leave these thoughts with individuals that you matter. You matter. You are important, and somebody always comes. I have some people come to me sometime and they're like, Roxy, who you love the most? Me.
Yeah, that's all right. There's
I
nothing
love,
wrong with that.
listen, I love, I love my husband. Yeah, I definitely love my grandbabies. But guess what? I can't be good to nobody if I'm not good to myself. And
go.
nobody on this earth can love me the way I love me.
There you go.
And when you start thinking that, acting that, doing that, and becoming that, and breathing that, and taking time for you, my girl Stephanie said it, we need to be kind to ourselves. We do so much. And all these individuals that we're seeing that are famous, not famous, they're always doing things, always yes people. Can you do this for me? Yes. Can you help me? Yes. Can you? Yes, 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 yes. And when they get home, they are so drained. When they get into their space, into their private closet, they are probably, let's say this, they are probably so drained of doing everything for everyone else, they don't have a bit of energy to do anything for themselves.
Yeah.
They get up the next morning and they do it again and again and again, and there is no time for themselves. When do they get a time to rest? When they decide they want to end it, because they're tired.
That's not the kind of rest you need.
That's not the type of rest you need. And yes, we're pulling straws out and we're trying to figure it out, because this is what families do when something like this happens.
Yeah,
because the person is
they're all
no
left
longer
with
there.
unanswered questions.
Yes, you're left with a void. Yeah. There is no one there to keep doing this. So what happens? They have to go ahead and they have to figure this out. And that is what we don't want your family to figure out. So what are we doing? We're trying to figure it out. We're just trying to find what that void is. What is that void? But you got to remember, you got to love you first. And when you love you, you're going to do the best thing for you. That's the thing. Me, anything I'm going to do for me, I want the best. If I can't afford it or do it, Cliff, I'm going to wait, and I'm not going to do it because I know I want the best. That's what I want for me.
I get accused of being a narcissistic psychopath.
Ooh.
Narcissistic is someone who loves himself way too much. And sometimes it takes one. For radio people, show business people, musicians and all that, they got to be a little bit like that. There's nothing wrong with being that, except the problem is the words that we use. We say a narcissistic psychopath. Narcissistic isn't that scary, but psychopath's a scary word.
But see, that's where my ooh went to, because you said psychopath.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's probably an overly person in love with themselves, yeah. which can be comical.
It could be a little comical sometimes, but the thing is, when you know that you love yourself, you can then love others. You can't do for everyone else, and you leave yourself such in a pit that you are drained. You are drained. You have to love yourself, and I think that is a good way to go ahead and just leave it so everybody can simmer with it while we're coming to this. Love yourself first, and then everything else is going to fall in place. That's what we want to say. We're going to all repeat it together. When you love yourself first.
When you love yourself. Come on, everybody. When you love yourself first.
Everything else is going to fall in place.
Everything else is going to fall in place.
And that is actually true. You really have to love yourself to get anything done in this world. You cannot get anything done.
So the good news is
if you don't love yourself.
It's not only okay, but everything else is going to be okay, too.
Yeah, you have to love yourself, and talk to yourself like someone you love. And I just said that earlier. Go in the mirror and talk to yourself. When I'm in the mirror, I'm brushing my teeth, I'm like, daggone girl. I'm like, you go. You look good in the morning. Look at that fresh skin. Talk to yourself. It makes you feel good. I look and I laugh, and she'll come, Gigi, who you talking to? I'm talking to Gigi, and she'll laugh. You funny. Guess what? You got to be funny. If you cannot laugh at yourself, others will laugh at you.
You can pamper yourself, too.
Oh, God,
Like your nails.
Oh, every time, Cliff. Look, tell them they can't see me. Every time I'm on
every time
point.
you see her
I'm
nails
on
are
point.
different every week.
No, not every 2 to 3 weeks they're different.
Oh,
they're
well,
gonna be blue next week.
Well, they look so fine.
Thank
that,
you.
I got to mention it because,
Not
that's
because
a
people
sign
are
that
not
you
seeing it.
pamper
Oh.
yourself. You're supposed to.
You listen, I love people. I love myself. And if I don't love myself, I love to look good. Everywhere I go, somebody either recognize my voice or they recognize me. I have to look like I'm on top of my
Now
game.
we
Let's
know how you
keep
get
it
all these
real.
sponsors. We know how you.
Listen, I gotta stay on my game. I got my sponsors. I got my clients. When someone sees me, it doesn't matter where I am. Fort Sears, Port St. Lucie, Gifford, Vero, Boca, West Palm Beach. It doesn't matter. I want to make sure I am on point. And being on point means looking my best. And that is when you look your best, you feel your best.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you feel your best, Fall in love with yourself is the first secret to happiness. So if you want to know, I'm not happy, I fall in love with yourself. When you love yourself, you are going to be happy. That's number one. Love yourself. Be clear on how you want to be treated. Know your worth always.
Wow.
We got 2 minutes left. There are some people that are in a relationship and they're screaming, they want to die. If you don't know your worth and that person is treating you like crap, he can't treat you anything more than you deserve if you don't show him or her that you're worth it. Okay? So I'm going to leave you with my last saying. The right mental attitude will guide you towards feeling a sense of love that you deserve to experience. Seek to be whole, not perfect. Yeah. That's where I'm going to leave it. Seek to be whole, but not perfect. None of us are perfect. But if you try to be whole, you would know how your world is going to come together, how you would put love to yourself, then in turn you could put love to others. This is Roxy with WPCL on Careolgy. I am your Careologist, and I want to say we love you. Just remember, try to be whole. Don't try to be perfect.
Spoil yourself rotten while you're
Spoil yourself rotten. You don't have to be perfect. I will be with you next week for our last show. It is going to be amazing. Tell your friends, tell your young people. She's 11 years old. She is an entrepreneur. She is kicking. Can I say ass? I already said it, right?
You already said it, yeah.
She is kicking behind, and she is awesome. And I'm not going to say any more. She is the owner of K-Soap. We got her in. Good night. Good night. Love you. Merry Christmas. Say Merry Christmas. If you could reimagine the way you buy a car, what would you do?